Welcome back, everybody, for another glorious day of the Forest Survival Mode. Now, we just had a new update, so we've got some new toys to check out, as well as a big project to finish today. Hey, everyone. So, last episode, I was getting everything set up to do the finishing part of the whole bridge system between base 1 and base 2, and I have powered through it this past couple weeks, working on it. Managed to get this first section here that I'm walking on done using the log sleds the way I did to build the first base, but I've got this little piece left. We only need another 7 logs, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to continue using my zip line to get everything down here. First, I want to give you a look at the devastation this project has brought to this area. Now, previously, the other area, I cleared a lot of it. This, I stayed over on this side because I didn't want to risk breaking anything by having a tree fall on it. So you can see some of the trees are starting to grow back in, but this is pretty much how much I have torn everything down and back, just harvesting tree after tree and bringing them down either on the sleds before to the first section there or to the middle section by doing the zip line. Now, this is actually my second zip line. My first one was, I think, right about here. I built it. And as soon as I threw that first log on it, the log goes splat and it hits the rock and just falls out. So I had to tear it all down, build a second zip line, and hope that it didn't have a collision with the rock wall. Fortunately, this one didn't. It worked pretty well, though because of the angle, some of the logs do get stuck down there. But I've managed to make it work. So I'm going to go ahead and take my sled. I'm going to finish getting these last 7 logs. And we're going to finish the bridge. Finally, over 1,000 logs to complete this project, start to finish. And I think I'm going to hold off on doing any stick fencing or anything like that around it, because I really don't want to deal with it anymore at this moment. Okay, like I said, I did have a problem with this glitching a bit because of the way it's angled down. So you see, I have a log stuck here, and it does not always work so great having it done like that. So as a result, I actually have, I have 2 logs, it looks like. Oh, wait, no, there's one. There's one. All right, so 1 log has gotten stuck, and unfortunately, I cannot get it out. So I have had that problem where I send down a whole big load of logs, and one of them gets stuck and is unusable as a result of this. So we'll run and grab a log from my sleds over here, and we'll get this thing finished. All right, so the bridge is done from base number 2 to base number 1. So let's do a quick jog. I don't think I can make it the whole way without having to stop to rest, but we're going to give it a shot and see how far I can get without having to catch my breath. And there we go. Base number 2 connected to base number 1 by a very long, time-consuming bridge. But that means I can easily get back and forth between them. Technically, it was more of a for fun project. I really didn't need to do this, but hey, it's something big. So now, what I have done is I've been stockpiling my meat here, and I put up a couple deer heads because I've been killing so many deer. But getting ready, just because I'm hoping with the next update we get some more decorations, or one of the upcoming updates will get decorations. But what we've got now is, with the new update, we actually have some new items. One is, throwable rocks, which we can now keep in our inventory. We also have the electrical tape. And if you want to see the full rundown on the update, check out my update showcase video. Then, what we're going to do now is make a slingshot, which I decided to wait and do now when everybody's watching. And let me think, it was stick, the cloth, and my brain just went. Yep, there we go. Okay. So the new electrical tape for a slingshot, which means I can use those little throwable rocks to hit things other than just throwing them and not hit them with a lot of damage. I've already tested it out. It works great against rabbits, lizards, things like that. So early game, you find some duct tape or electrical tape. Go ahead and use the electrical tape, make a slingshot, and that can help with your hunting until you can get good with the bow. Though, honestly, after that, I think you're going to find better use with the electrical tape for your explosives or for mounting your flashlight to items. So we're going to go now to the place I found to be the best place to get a bunch of electrical tape, as well as the new modern arrows, and that is the cave where you find the modern axe to start with. And I'm going to check some of these real quick. That's just flares. Some of the luggage containers will have electrical tape, and they're supposed to have the modern arrows, but I have not been able to find any modern arrows in a luggage container yet. So in the spot where you get the modern axe, which is actually fairly easy to get to now, I just came through, no cannibals, no mutants, nothing in my way. You come here, you find dynamite, things like that. You'll also find these modern arrows, which show as arrows, and when you look, you only get arrows in the list, but they actually are different. You'll see them as opposed to these. If you switch, yes, it looks more like a little modern arrow type thing. And now we need some duct tape, which is scattered around here in different places. Of course, all the stuff resets with the update, so you can come back and get things like the modern axe a second time if you want to use it for decoration. And let's see, we got, more arrows here and more arrows here. So now I got a bunch of modern arrows, 15. And we're also going to go ahead and use one of the new features, and that is take the bow, the duct tape, and the flashlight and combine them together to give me now flashlight attached to the bow. Something that you could not do in Doom 3, where you had to actually sit there and switch back and forth between the flashlight and your weapon. Now we can actually attach it using duct tape or electrical tape to be able to see now in the dark while we're shooting a lot more readily. Okay, one thing to note about this is if you mount the flashlight to a weapon, you won't be able to select it individually now, which means you will have to use it, and it doesn't exactly let you aim it the best way. Fortunately, they decided to let us go back to also using the lighter in addition to that. So if you do mount up the flashlight to your flintlock pistol or to the bow like I have, you will actually still be able to use the lighter as a separate light source when you're going along. And so far, no cannibals. They must have heard me coming and got scared. Also, a problem I'm having is that I don't seem to be able to turn the flashlight off when I am using it with the bow. Like, it doesn't have an off switch for it. So I'm hoping they will add that in the upcoming update, where now if you put it with like the flintlock pistol or the bow, you can turn it back off, because that's wasting my battery power right there. Yeah, since I'm losing so much battery power, we're going to take it apart and just be able to use these separately. As it seems nice to a certain degree, but then at the same time, I don't want to be locked into always having to use the bow for my flashlight and not being able to use the bow with the flashlight turned off. I mean, yes, I figured out how to use electrical tape to put the bow and the flashlight together. Surely I can sit there and hit the button and turn the flashlight off. So now it's nighttime, or, you know, nighttime is coming. We need to light this up. I don't want to just be running along in the dark, so we are going to set up a bunch of decorative skull lamps. And I thought about, you know, going along and doing the hanging ones underneath, but I don't think I want to do that on this after all. I want to just do, we're just going to do, you know, standing skull lamps. Now, I do have several skulls hanging in there using that little trick I did in one of my tip videos for storing skulls and ropes. So I have extra ropes, which I won't really need right now, but I do have plenty of skulls at the moment, so I don't have to go and fight to get some more. So I've used up my 4 skulls, and what I've done is I've placed them at each of the basic intersections, the turns on the bridge. And now that I'm looking at it, this actually could be a good spot to build maybe just the gazebo, have a little spot, come out here and chill, or have a small emergency stash type thing. Like this is the emergency living place. Run out here and jump out, have a little boat or something to help me get back easier, and just make it so I can basically come here and destroy the bridge sections and live safely right there, have some supplies. You know, not necessarily meat, because it would just sit there, supposedly spoil, and then I pick it up and it's perfectly fine. So I don't want to use that trick. Maybe, you know, some garden plots there so I can put some plants down for food, blueberries and such. I have lights all the way along the nice new bridge between both base 1 and base 2. Which means now what I want to do is I kind of want to do some more work on base 1, maybe revamp some things. Not too much, because again, I am hopeful that they're going to come out with some new decorative items in one of the upcoming updates, which we are now a month away from the next update. They put it up to over 30 days before the next update comes out. Maybe, give themselves some time around the holidays, a few extra days there to relax and not worry about it. But we do have a month to wait for the next update. Hopefully they'll give some new stuff, like, new decorative items. That would be really great to have. And I want to keep space open at each of the bases for that, so I'm not having to go and destroy stuff later on to make room for new things. So I think now I'm going to do some tweaking over the next, week or so on this. Maybe see if I can come up with some new things I want to change. Maybe add some more stuff. And I also want to get to moving towards base number 4. Because we've got base number 1 here, the first one we started with, down on the little beachfront here. We've got base 2 on the little remote island that, we have a little short bridge we can destroy. We're perfectly protected there. Then we have base number 3, which is in the middle of one of the lakes. So now I want to do base number 4, and I have been trying to prep up for it. I've got plenty of deer skin. I have put on plenty of deer skin on my armor level so that I am not going to worry about having to deal with the armor being cold. So yeah, I think it's going to be time to do a wintry snow biome base. And the place I am thinking is there is a lake up there in the snow biome that a lot of players have built bases in or around. And what I'm thinking is I want to build something a little different. I want to build it in the middle of the lake, but instead of a flat base like I did for base 3, I'm going to focus on a smaller, not as wide top base, but a much more vertically oriented base, and do just a big tower base. And I want to do it where I have kind of 2 sides. Instead of worrying about stairs, we're going to take advantage of the crane system. So I'm going to start building floors and then build a crane next to it. It lets me go up between the different floors instead of worrying about building stairs like this, because the stairs in this game are kind of annoying to deal with. So that's going to be it for today's episode. Just a shorter episode. Kind of, get the bridge done finally. Show you some of the new stuff. We've got the new arrows, which you can somewhat see separate from the regular crafted arrows, and you can see them right there. I'm afraid of depositing those into arrow baskets because of my past issue where I have 4 baskets full of bone arrows, and as soon as I put regular crafted arrows into one basket, every arrow and every arrow basket in my world turned back to regular crafted arrows. So I lost 4 baskets full of bone arrows. I'm afraid the same thing will still happen if I do the modern arrows. So I'm probably going to not be depositing any arrows into any arrow baskets for a while at this point, because I'm afraid I will lose them like I lost all my bone arrows. That said, I've got, throwable rocks. I probably will not be using the slingshot at this point in the game. It's definitely going to be more for early game, helping you get some, rabbits and such before maybe you have a good grip on the spear or on using the bow. And, that could be helpful. I don't see it being useful for against cannibals. Definitely not against mutants, because they're just going to kind of laugh it off if you shoot them with a slingshot. It's just a nice little addition, but I don't see it being utility-wise very good for later in the game. So if you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button. Also make sure you hit subscribe and tick the notification bell if you have not done so you keep up on my content during the week. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you like about the bridge, if there's anything you think I should change, any ideas for the decorations with the lights, or any ideas for the upcoming base number 4. Love to hear from you guys. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Spicy. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.